prescribed by a doctor, that doctor would lose his license. I'll tell you right now. They can prescribe, legally, they can prescribe certain things. They cannot prescribe the full gamut of what is used for bodybuilding competition, especially at the highest levels. So legality, they're hesitant to talk about it because technically they're breaking the law. We all break the law every day if you drive 2 miles over the speed limit and so forth. But the other thing is this whole stigma of cheating, which I can understand why you would consider it cheating at the amateur level, say the Olympics, but pro football, pro basketball, pro bodybuilding, why do you think, or do you think there'll ever come a day where we say, you know what, it's just another training aid, just like these guys have nutritionists and they have all the, millions and millions of dollars of high-tech training equipment and recovery and all these things. So why does steroids still have this stigma that's everything else is okay, but steroids are cheating? And we pretend that these athletes aren't doing it. We pretend we're watching NFL games every Sunday and these guys aren't using steroids, and we watch baseball and pretend these guys aren't using steroids. But unfortunately, bodybuilders can't escape that because we wear it on our bodies. You see a 275-pound man with 2% body fat,
yep.
24-inch arms. There's no way a human being can look like that without drugs.
Yep. So I'll give you my feedback on that. I'll give you my rebuttal on that. Fair enough. Yes. And this is good because these are exactly the conversations that we need to be having. Like, it needs to be these conversations. So let's talk about the fact that any doctor that prescribe what some of these bodybuilders say prescribe is illegal, right? Okay, fine. Number one, hire a lobbyist and let's start talking about it. Start talking about the fact that here's the stats on what alcohol has done, and there is nobody that has a liquor store gets arrested if they sold you 3 cases of Corona with 12 bottles in each one, and I drink 50. That's not the liquor store's fault. Right. That's the guy that took it. Nobody told you to drink 50 beers in one night. No one told you to drop 2 Jim Beams in a night. That's on you. I can't blame. So again, that argument has to be made by an attorney. I'm not an attorney, but if I was, I would go from that angle. So then the next thing about the cheating part, right? We weren't on our sleeves. I think the other part that this is going to be a little bit controversial, and maybe it initially may not make a lot of sense, but I think it needs to be talked about. I think we glorify too big of a size, and it's not attractive. So today I have Kenya here, my executive assistant. I got a few people here, and I got girls around me here at the office, and we're looking at a couple bodybuilders, okay? Because I knew I was doing this. I'm looking at a couple bodybuilders. We go through it. She says, "Oh, that's so nasty." I said, "Okay." So I said, "How about this?" No, and some of these bodybuilders are the 350-pound, 300-pound bodybuilders. "Oh, that's so nasty, and that's so this, and oh my gosh, that's terrible." And then she looks at Arnold and she says, "Oh, that looks so good." Mm-hmm. And then she goes, "Wow, that looks great." And these are Mr. Olympia bodybuilders. Yeah. Samir Bannout, he looks so great. And even a Sean Ray, he looks good. He looks great. So I think the other side is how a Kim Kardashian today is seen sexy, which if you go back a couple decades ago, the Calvin Klein models were 80-pound models, and that was sexy because that's how fashion sold us that an attractive, sexy woman is 95 pounds, and all these women are trying to be anorexic, and today's version of Marilyn Monroe, let's just say, is Kim Kardashian. She makes girls say, "You know what? I got big thighs. I got a big butt. I'm voluptuous. Guess what? I'm sexy." Mm-hmm. So I think that same way the bodybuilding brand has to sell certain factors. And let me give you an idea what I mean by certain factors. Whatever the scoring is, you get to change the comp. I run a sales organization. Whatever behavior I want, I can change it based on the structure of my comp plan. And comp plan is this behavior, I pay double the bonus. This behavior, I pay half the bonus. This behavior, I don't even pay you any bonus, right? Years ago, I manipulated my comp probably a few hundred times to figure out what produced the best behavior, right? And I would find out about 3 to 6 months. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing bad things. It's your fault. Your comp sucks. They're doing great things. Phenomenal job. That one thing we added, it produces better behavior. Now watch this. What if you create a golf score, whatever it is that these judges do, and they get together and they say, what is number one above all? What is number one above all? Okay, that we're going to give the highest level of scoring for. Maybe we are going to give better level of scoring and take a massive point off for the big belly. Okay, maybe we're going to take points off if I see any of the stuff, guys, synthol and any of the stuff that we use, you're just fully taking those numbers out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if we find that there's some surgery where you put implants in, you're completely off, because this is not what we're looking for. We want to see people that are, so then there's a certain structure that you put with the physique, and you can use technology nowadays to say which represents the most, you know, Greek god-esque, Larry Scott, Steve Reeves type of a physique, and we turn that into God. Versus what we have done, we've turned the Incredible Hulk into God. And Mr. Olympia people think they need to be 400 pounds, 350 off season to win. And I think that's part of the judging. I think that's part of how we're selling who is a perfect physique. And I don't think that's hard to do to change. I think it takes 2 to 5 years to do that. I don't think it's going to be a 6-month thing. I think it's 2 to 5 years, and it's based on who you recognize the most. And once they do that, like if I'm a girl and I want to look hot, and all of a sudden you start seeing all these girls get their lips done after Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie comes with flawless lips, and this lips start getting big for all these girls. And you're like, listen, that doesn't look pretty. That actually doesn't look pretty when you're doing it too much. So now it's come down, because now the marketplace is saying those lips don't look attractive. I like a little bit more less. I don't want too much boob job, but we used to be big on boob jobs 10 years ago. Today, it's a little bit more, maybe not a double D, maybe a C. All of these things, the market is saying what's attractive, and it puts a lot of pressure. So again, I didn't give you one answer, but I give you a lot of answers there. I think if they take that approach, it's going to take work. I didn't say it's going to take 6 months. You're going to need lobbyists. You're going to need people campaigning. You're going to need attorneys. You're going to need all of that. But if you do that properly, within 2 to 5 years, this brand can be a whole different brand. Whole different brand if you do that.
See, I feel, I'm sure you're aware of what the classic Daivd